Hi and welcome to Phoenix Crypto. My name's Andy and welcome to another edition of Market Watch. Before I start, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and give it a share. Thank you. Right, so what happened yesterday? We got this massive exchange driven spike, I'm sure of it, and we've bounced and rejected off this very important trend line which I've been talking about for a couple of days now. Rejected off here, come all the way back down to the 56k support line, bounced off here, and again we've tested this trend line, come down, tested, come down, tested, come down. Finally we've broken through that trend line and we've now rejected off the 58k resistance and we're now just here. What was my prediction? My prediction was we would reject off this line and we would come down, and we would come down to this kind of pocket here. So if I just draw that around here, and in particular this very important trend line just here. That's what I predicted. Was I wrong? Not yet. What do I mean by that? Well, firstly, breaking through this trend line has been very difficult. You can see how many times it's attempted to do that and it's only just made it. We still haven't had a big candle close yet, like a 4 hour. So getting that closed, I think in at least at the time of recording this, in about 40 minutes time will be important. However, we still have this line of resistance. We still have this even more important trend line, and we've rejected off this trend line even more times, up here, up here, up here, up here, and it is weakening, but it is an incredibly important trend line. I still feel that in order to get the upward momentum that we need for the breaking new all-time highs, getting to 70, 80, 90, 98k if you believe Plan B's prediction, in order to get that we have to come down. I'm convinced of it. Nothing ever goes straight up. We are not going to see this candle just skyrocket. That is not likely to happen from where we are now. There is not enough momentum. So what do I think will happen? We will eventually get up to here and then we'll reject. The bounce here will be incredibly important, and it's from here that I expect us to build that upper momentum to really take us forward. So this was very hard for us to break. This one is proving even harder. We're not there yet. We've still got room to go. We've still got 2.5k before we get to retest this trend line, and that's going to be very important. Would I love it if we went straight up? Absolutely. Do I think that will happen? Nothing so far has been straightforward. You can see that we've been ranging within a 4k space for 5 days now, and it's been a volatile 5 days. So I don't think it's going to be straightforward. It's not going to go straight up. Just want to look at a few other really bits on our chart. We're going to talk or show a little bit about Wolfpack Pro. So I've just been long. It was a bit speculative. The reason why, well, I say speculative, it was a bit cautious, and the reason why was the fact that Bitcoin has been volatile. It has been rejecting off the trend lines. There's been a couple of times where we've thought it might go long, hasn't. We've shorted. Yes, we've made good profit, but it hasn't quite hit the targets that I expected. So I have been cautious. Why did I long? Lovely 30-minute divergence here. For anyone who's followed my Wolfpack Pro review, lovely green diamond, which is signaling a trigger wave, followed by a golden cross. Not one, two. So that automatically starts giving me additional confidence that yes, this is going to be some further upward momentum. And actually, since I started recording this, we've now got a not confirmed but a strong buy signal on the 30-minute, which is not yet confirmed but is close. That is more confidence that we're going upward. If I look at the 3 hour, we've got a lovely divergence on the 3 hour, and in fact that golden cross is new since I started recording this. The 4 hour, not yet confirmed, will be in about 35 minutes from the time of recording. Lovely divergence here. Green diamond, incredibly strong. If I go to our old favourite market cipher, 4 hour, green dot, not confirmed. But VWAP, very clearly, well over the 0 line. If I go to the 10 hour, which is a time frame I've been monitoring, green dot just breached the 0 line. If I go to the 18 hour, started to turn back around. No green dot yet, hasn't quite got there, starting to. 1 day, flattened. The VWAP hopefully will start coming back around. And I don't really mind if it's pointing down or up. I just want a clear indication of direction. And I think for most people who now follow the channel, you'll know that I love looking at the higher time frames. They always guide me in terms of what is the overall trend. Let's look at cryptograph. Nice buy signal. Actually indicating a buy this morning, which is a good indication. Let's look on a medium time frame. You can see there that the stochastic RSI has gone bullish. There's a light blue. Let me zoom it in for people so you can see that there. You can see the VWAP here is above the 0 line. I'm sure anyone can draw or identify, an easy divergence. I'm sure that would be quite clear for anyone to see. So we're now getting multiple indicators, starting to give us a strong indication. Buy signal here on the daily. I think it's a bit premature. And I'm just going to show this one just with the Keltner band here. We can see the green trend, and you can actually see here, this is on the daily, and we can actually see this actually more tighter trend confirmation actually went bearish as it dipped down. You can see this area of resistance that we've struggled, tried to get past it, dropped, tried to get past it, dropped. So can we make it up again? You can see how this works here. So we're staying above the average. If we came down, what's the area I'm looking at? Just there. Still possible, still possible. Let's look at some other coins. Ethereum, what's Ethereum doing? Well, I drew this channel, which I think on a previous video, I think you would have seen this. You can see, and this is a great example of how price action works. You can see here, broken above it, rejected, and come back down. Tried to test the support, failed. Come right down. Tested here, gone back up, dropped, tested here, gone back up, broken above, dipped, broken up. See how many times support is being tested. Finally, it looks like we may have fully broken out of there, and we're now just hitting the line of resistance. I think for anyone who doesn't know how to draw trend lines, doesn't draw support and resistance lines, this is so important to being able to have an educated guess as to what price action is going to do, which direction it's going to go. And you can see that price action behaves in a certain way. Although you can't always get it right, it largely does follow a kind of pattern. Let's look at some other coins. Cardano. I've drawn this on the daily just to show an important trend line. You can see there's a little bit of room to dip down. I would say this, if we dip down, that is, even now, I think that's an incredible price to be buying Cardano. If you look at it against the all-time high, obviously that's the wick, but 3.1, that is huge. Relative to Bitcoin, Cardano has a lot of room to grow, a lot. Still got a little bit of room for that to bounce down. So if we dip, that's where I'm looking for it to bounce off. Sol. Again, on the daily, we can see this important trend line. You can see how much it's interacting here. Here, test. If we dip, this is the space, this is the kind of price range. So we're talking very low 200s. If we get that, I think that's a very good place to be buying. Very good. Particularly as we enter the next phase of the bull run. I think this will be an absolute steal. Still short of the all-time high. So we've got some room to go, but that's where I'll be looking for. So if we get a big dip, if we get a real market moving dip, that is the space. Litecoin, one of my favorite coins, simply because, again, compared to Bitcoin, it is a vastly it's so cheap, undervalued completely. So again, here you can see the interactions, and again, if we come down, this is what I'm expecting. In fact, we've already bounced, but this is what I'm expecting. So that represents really good value to me. Really good value. I think Litecoin as long-term investment, I'm not going to turn around and say it's going to make you huge sums of money. But in terms of growth potential, I think it's a vastly undervalued and underrated coin. It's one of the absolute oldest, and we get that bounce here, I'd be expecting a big move up. And we're absolutely so short of the all-time high. $200, plenty of room to grow. I think absolutely. This is going to be a big moment. I will actually try and draw some more trend lines on Litecoin, because I think there's plenty of further opportunity for Litecoin coming up. I really do. XRP, been a bit more difficult to draw trend lines. I have still managed to do so. And if I just get my chart right, so you can see that's an important trend line. Breaking there was important. You can see that it's intersected there. I don't really ever expect it to be a factor again. Same as this bottom one here, it's interacted here, but that is a huge drop. Not sure if I can see that. And then we've got this trend line, and this is the one that we're currently sitting on. Well, we've just bounced off. You can see it interacting here, all the way down here. So quite an important trend line. This is the space. If we drop, we don't look like we've actually got that much more space to drop. I would turn around and say that I feel that XRP, in terms of growth potential, similar to Litecoin, I think it's a little undervalued at the moment. I think it's got more room to grow. I absolutely do. It probably doesn't have the same momentum as other coins like AVAX or Mana or Sand, have had in the last gala, in the last few weeks. So I think it probably is going under the radar a little bit, but it is a favourite. It is still a top 20 coin. So, you know, that's what I'm looking for. If we dip, we might dip beneath that trend line, but I think that will just be, and I think we'll reclaim back above it again. So if we dip, that's what I'm looking for. So that is, in a nutshell, what I'm expecting to happen from Bitcoin and a few of the top coins at the moment. Still looking, back to drawing random lines, still looking for a rejection off here. You know, that is what I'm looking at. If we reject, I think we're going to come down. I think we're going to test that support, and then I think we're going to move up. I think that's going to be incredibly important. Will that happen? Quite difficult to say at the moment. What I will say, if I can zoom up, we've broken above this line. We've tested resistance. We've rejected. See this red candle, and we're now just thinking about what to do next. Will we retest again and then bounce up? Possibly. Will we just go straight up and test that? That is also a possibility. We have to beat, or not beat, but get past this line of resistance. That is the first hurdle. The second is obviously this big important trend line. That is so important. Can we do it? May not be at the first time of asking. The only thing I will turn around and say though is, looking at the higher time frames, 6 hour, green dot, VWAP above the 0 line, clear bullish divergence here, nice trigger wave, looks very good for going up. What could happen? We could absolutely go up, we could come down, form a smaller trigger wave and go up like this and have some kind of incredible trigger wave and building more momentum. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay, this one here is still quite a big trigger wave, and I think we'll need something a little bit smaller as a sign of greater upward momentum, and that will be important. So I still feel this has got a few days to play out. I know it's obviously Thanksgiving for the guys in the States at the end of the week. I have a sneaking suspicion that we might get a Thanksgiving present. We'll see how this plays out. Could be a bit before that. Bitcoin has been volatile. Maybe it'll do something left field that I'm not expecting, but this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that upward momentum, that upward trajectory, and this gives me much greater confidence that when we start getting into longs around here, we can have a lot more confidence that we are going to go up, you know, and up in a really big way, because we've got to reclaim some really important levels. And this level has been very difficult for us to break, but once we get up to the 66k mark, that has also proven a tricky level. Yes, we've broken above it over here, but that was difficult. We've obviously tried to test it, kept it, and then failed. We've tested it here and failed. We've tested it here and failed. So, you know, that is also going to be a tricky place for us to overcome. And again, you can see now there are some other trend lines that will start playing, right? So these will also be tricky. We need significant momentum to come up above, significant. And it might take us a little bit longer than we're anticipating. That said, I think when we've seen on previous cycles that when we go parabolic, you know, I think if we were going to compare that to this cycle, we'd be looking at 10k a day daily candles, which is going to be incredible, absolutely incredible. Timing of that is going to be crucial. Is this downward movement, is this building up the right kind of upward momentum, and are we creating on a daily time frame a double bottom somewhere? That's going to be a question. Are there any other patterns which are giving us an indication that of the next move? So that's what we're really looking for at the moment, and I think this is going to play out this week. I think it's going to be an important week in crypto, important week for Bitcoin, and we've just got to see how this plays out. But in the short term, as in the next few hours, I think we could be in for a bit of a bullish time. I still worry about that trend line. Once we get past that, I will then be back to being super bullish. This trend line has caused us no end of difficulty, so getting above that is going to be crucial. Hopefully we will do it in the next 1 to 2 days. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you like the content, press the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it. If you want to join my Discord community, the link is in the bottom, and I think it might be on the screen as well. So it'd be great to see people and join in some discussion. Brilliant. Thanks very much.